Nuggets predicted to this season. The Denver Nuggets haven't had an all-star on the roster not named Nikola Jokic since the 2011 season when Carmelo Anthony was still in the building. It's been even longer for Denver to be without two all-stars on the same roster, with 2010 being the last sighting for that feat with Anthony and Chauncey Billups. However, when looking ahead to what the 2026 NBA All-Star Game could hold, there's a world where the Nuggets could finally add another name into the mix, and a first-time participant to join Jokic among the best players around the NBA for the year ahead. That first-time All-Star to be in the mix for Denver might be none other than Jamal Murray, who Bleacher Report's Grant Hughes predicts as one of the 5 first-time All-Stars who could be in prime contention to earn their first spot on a roster come next February. Jamal Murray has averaged at least 20.0 points and 6.0 assists per game while drilling over 39.0% of his threes in each of the last 3 seasons, Hughes writes. Slow starts and injuries kept him from all-star status in every one of them. That has to change eventually, right? Especially now that his Canadian status gives him an inside track to the international team. Murray has been more statistically productive to this point in his career than either of those players. In fact, he's the only non-all-star in league history to average at least 18.0 points and 4.0 assists while shooting over 38.0% from deep for his career. The Denver Nuggets are going to be one of the top teams in the West, and Murray is smack in the middle of his prime. He's due. Murray has remained in contention for that coveted all-star spot for some time now, but could this year really be the time for those hopes to come true? There's multiple factors going Murray's way to make that finally happen, but perhaps the 2 biggest are the team state of the Nuggets and the international twist the All-Star Game is set to have this season. If the Nuggets are as talented as they believe they are in the building, by rising to a top 2 to 3 seed in the West, they'll inevitably get a few extra looks to add a second All-Star next to Jokic as a nod to Denver's potential team success. Murray is the obvious candidate for that role. And especially with 8 spots on the new Luke All-Star rosters inevitably in the hands of international players in a USA vs. World format, there's a clear-cut way for Murray to poke his head into the discussion to be among the 24 names in all for next year. Of course, fighting with other prestigious, international guys around the NBA like Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, etc., is a steep challenge, especially in a vote to earn an all-star nod for a first-timer like Murray. Yet, this year might just be Murray's best chance yet to get on the board with that league-wide recognition after starting his first 8 years in the league empty-handed.